Today we have Tracy Avanzo with Azuga to discuss fleet management. Hello, Tracy.
Hi there. Appreciate you guys letting me join you today. Super excited to meet with all of you. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Azuga, we are a fleet IoT, fleet telematics organization, and we are under the parent company of Bridgestone. And you've guessed it, it's Bridgestone, the tire company. So Bridgestone acquired us about 4 years ago. And they also acquired another company called Webfleet that is big in Europe. And it shows you the direction of Bridgestone, where they're branching out and not just wanting to be just a tire company any longer. So here's just a graphic. We partner with the Firestone locations. And Azuga has been around since 2012. So we're super excited to be a part now of the Bridgestone family. Let me just give you a little bit of statistics. I'm going to go through, I'm not a huge PowerPoint person, but I'm going to go through a few slides, and I'd love to take you through a high-level demo just so you could see it in action. But with all of our customer base, we've seen about a 30% reduction in accidents and about 57% reduction in speeding, and that's for all of our fleets. And then in maintenance, which you'll see in the demo, that maintenance, we've seen about a 28% improvement on vehicle wear and tear. So as far as fleet management, we can do customized dashboards. We do driver score and rewards. We also do asset tracking, which can be both powered and non-powered assets. So if you're looking at powered assets, that would be something like a forklift. Non-powered could be a container or a trailer. So we have the ability to track those as well. And then in addition, probably our biggest combo is our GPS solution partnered with our AI safety cam. And the safety cam with the AI capabilities is going to pick up things like eating, drinking, smoking, driver drowsiness, distracted driving, using phone. So you'll have all of those capabilities through the AI camera. The camera is driver facing and forward facing, with the ability to add 3 additional cameras. So you can have actually a total of 4. And then relative to fleets, I like this slide because it shows that it doesn't just have to be trucks. It doesn't have to be, vans. It could be equipment. It could be regular cars, yellow iron. So we've got the capabilities to monitor all of these types of vehicles. Let me go into a demo and just kind of give you, like I said, I'm just going to give you a high level, but I think it really resonates when you kind of see it in action. This is what your customers would see when they log into the portal. If you had vehicles just in a specific region, the map would populate with just that area. So for example, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If all of my vehicles were just in the Texas region, the map would populate right in the Texas area. For us, our fleet is across the country, and you're seeing a cluster of numbers actually that refer to a cluster of vehicles. So in Oklahoma, for example, we've got 5 vehicles. You can name these. You can have a naming convention, truck 1, truck 2, however you wanted to name them. But I can pan in and see exactly what's going on with the vehicles, where they're at, just by clicking on that number. So for example, here we've got an exclamation point. This is a key indicator for any dispatcher or fleet manager that there's something going on here. They can click right here. As you see, this has rotated here, but it shows me that on average, this vehicle was doing 50 miles an hour with a max speed of 93 miles an hour. So obviously something that they'd want to address, take a look at. Everything that's transpiring with my fleet is over here on the left-hand side. So let me kind of recenter here. I can see all of my vehicles here that are moving, if their ignition is off, what their speed is. And again, you can name these however you'd like. You can name the vehicles, but this just shows me what's going on in my fleet. If I wanted to look at a specific vehicle, I can click on that vehicle and check to see what their route was for the day. I'm going to go back to the default map, but this is their breadcrumb trail. So this shows me where they started their day, where they ended. And if you think of these dots like a stoplight, if it's green, everything's moving appropriately. There's no speeding events happening, no hard braking. If it's yellow, that typically indicates that idling has ended. So if I click on it, you see how this rotated over here on the left, and it shows that the idling ended. Red is really where we want to focus. So I can click on any of these red dots and see what was going on. For example, here's a speeding event where the posted road speed was 55 miles an hour. On average, they did 66, but there was a point in their journey that they hit a max of 75 miles an hour. You also have the ability to play back their route if you wanted to. Sometimes this comes in handy if you wanted to know, when did they get to a specific intersection? You can speed it up if you didn't want to watch the entire route, but it is another option for you on the map. In addition to that, we've got a couple other options you can do. So of course you see that this is satellite view. We can always go back to our default view. And then we've got a weather and traffic overlay. So if I wanted to see what the weather was like in a specific area, I can do so. I can also see where the traffic is. So as I mentioned, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If I wanted to pan in, I can see exactly where the traffic, and I can route my drivers around these particular areas of congestion. A couple other things you can do is you can go in here and find nearest vehicle. So if there was let's say it was an HVAC company and they had someone that their water heater had started leaking, you can find the nearest driver to their location and dispatch them very easily right from the portal. And then I'm sure there's some folks on the call that have used Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft, or Uber. You can actually send a track me link to a customer to let them know when a vehicle is arriving. Very similar to the experience with Uber or Lyft. I'm going to jump over to kind of show you what makes us different. So being a Bridgestone company, one of the great things is that whether you have one vehicle or hundreds of vehicles, you're eligible for the Bridgestone National Account Program. Normally, that program requires you to have 500 vehicles or more. With being an Azuga customer, you actually can participate in that program and receive discounts off of tires and service. So as you're speaking to customers, that is something that you can offer. It may sound a little silly. Wow, I'm offering, discounts on tires and service now, but it ultimately can pay for our solution with those discounts. We all know how painful it is when you have to replace a tire or get maintenance done. It's never an easy thing to swallow. So having that national account program is huge. The other thing that makes us different is how we really want to improve the driver scoring. So we do what we call gamification between drivers. And really that makes us be the carrot versus the stick. So we want them to improve driving, want them to get home safely every night. A lot of times you hear some negative connotation around tracking or GPS or having cameras in the vehicle. And we really want to turn that into more of a positive experience. So how do we do that? We have a rewards program that's patented. The drivers are scored, and I'll show you how they're scored in just a second. But here are my top drivers. So it looks like this particular driver, and again, this is our demo fleet, but these particular drivers are doing great, no issue. If I wanted to click into a driver, I can see all the things that they're doing great. And this is how they're ranked, right? And here is how they've come to the score of 91. If I wanted to check and see who's on the watch list or who's in the risky category, that would be who we'd want to work with to try to improve their driving behavior. I can go to the end of the list, and it looks like even on our team, we have a couple folks that can improve their scores. So let's look at Aaron. So Aaron's doing a lot of sudden acceleration and speeding. He's not, too bad on cornering or utilizing phone, but he's doing a lot of hard braking, idling, and not wearing his seatbelt. That's what got him to the score of 44. But what a fleet manager can do is they can do different, reward programs, driver of the month, driver of the quarter, most improved driver. They can orchestrate it however they want by offering virtual rewards. So we work with these retailers, and a fleet manager can come in and offer virtual gift cards to the driver of the month or that driver of the quarter, simply by selecting one of these retailers. And then they would add funds right here, typically corporate credit card. And then you can go and you can select which driver and the denomination you wanted to send. So it really motivates them. I know if we were all drivers and I was the worst driver, I always say in Texas, we don't pay attention to speed limits. I'm at the bottom. I don't want to be at the bottom amongst my peers. It's just human nature. So I start driving better. What does that do? That improves the maintenance on my vehicles. It lowers probably my idling, which saves me on fuel. And now I'm working my way up to be at the top of this list. And now I can essentially be eligible for some of these rewards programs. So it's up to the fleet manager of the dispatcher, whoever is in charge of the fleet, to determine how they want to use this program. We hope that they use it to improve driving scores. However, if they have a technician, for example, that stays late or comes in on a Saturday and they want to send them a reward for going above and beyond, they can use this platform as well. And then in here, you've got a history of who you've sent the rewards to, and you can identify, is this program working for me? So it's a really great program. It's probably one of my favorite parts of our platform. I'm going to jump over to Safety Cam. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have AI cameras, which are driver facing and forward facing. All of your events are considered, the hard braking, the speeding, the hard cornering, and then anything that the AI picks up, the using phone, distracted driving. All of those are housed here. We ping every 1 minute. So they're going to get the information uploaded every minute. As far as the data that you've seen on both the live page and the camera, we're going to store that for the customers for 1 year on the platform, but 3 years in the cloud. So they'll always have that, data for at least 36 months to reference. But all of your videos are housed here. Let's look at this one. So this one was recorded due to hard braking, which is an event. And then the AI picked up not focused and using phone. So it's also going to show you the approximate address and what their speed was. So let's look at a video. As you can see here, this is the driver facing right here, and then forward facing to the road. I'm assuming this was recorded because he's looking down at his phone. But let's play the video for you. So he looked up, and the reason he looked up is the camera actually beeps as soon as it notices any sort of event transpiring, whether it's the speeding, the hard cornering, or the AI where he's not focused. It is going to start to beep at him. And it's going to continue to beep at the driver until they correct their behavior. So he avoided the accident. We don't want it to even get that far, but had that camera not been beeping at him, the outcome could have looked a lot differently. So that's just an example of one of the AI videos. And then over here on the right, we actually categorize them. So all of the videos are here, but if you're looking, for example, if a customer has a policy where they aren't able to use their phone while they're driving, you can go right to this category and look at all the videos of using phones. A couple other things that you can do on here is you can request videos. So if there isn't a recording of a particular time frame down here, you can request a video with a specific time for a specific video. And then you also have the ability to live stream into a vehicle. So if you had an employee, for example, that maybe hadn't been feeling well, but now they're back to work and they're still not 100%, you're kind of concerned about them, and you're now not able to get a hold of them, you can turn on the camera right in the vehicle, right from the platform. So you're able to do that live streaming. Jumping over from the camera, a couple last little options here. So we have a reporting mechanism. There's about 30 different canned reports over here on the left that we've created. All of the reports can be scheduled. If someone wanted to receive a report either daily, weekly, monthly, they can schedule that right from the platform. Some of our most popular reports are going to be speeding, idling. We also have a diagnostics report. So our OBD2 device will plug right into the port in the vehicle. We also have a JBus device, and it plugs right into the ECM, which is your engine computer. So it can retrieve all of the engine data. So for a diagnostics report, for example, it looks like this vehicle had a check engine light on. It's showing you that the code that was pulled, most people, unless they're mechanics, may not know what this code means, but in this report, you can look to see what that code is. Do we need to get that vehicle off of the road immediately? Does it need to be towed? Or is it something minor that we can look at when they get back to the shop? So you have that report in here. And then another one that is a really good report. I really hope that they don't have to use this, but if there was a collision, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. If there was a collision involved in their fleet, they're able to go into a collision report. It's going to show you the time and date of the actual collision, where the impact happened. So on this particular one, it was the right rear quarter panel, the G-force, and the weather conditions. And then you've got 3 virtual maps here that you can look at the location of the accident, what the route was that they got to before the accident. And then this is like your Google guy for a street view. And then below you've got your acceleration and deceleration. And what I really like is the ability with the camera is you can play a video of the accident. So I'm going to actually speed it up just for time's sake. The orange is where the accident occurs. So you can see some sparking here. It looks like a tire hit that rear right quarter panel, and that's what was determined a collision. All of this can be downloaded. It can be sent to the driver immediately via email with a link where an officer can look at it. It can be sent to your insurance company. So it's a really great report should they experience an accident. If there's reports here that maybe a customer says, you know, I like what's in the speeding report, I like what's in the idling report, but I want a little bit of information of each in one report, we have a concierge service that can do customized reporting for them as well. And again, remember that these can all be scheduled. And then the last part to kind of take you through is a maintenance module. So with telematics, we also want them to be able to maintain their vehicles. you're able to go in here and add a reminder if you wanted to make sure that all of your vehicles, for example, had an oil change, every 5,000 miles, you would select the oil change, click on every 5,000 miles, and you can set up who gets the reminders. So a really great tool to keep on top of maintenance. And then you also can do a service entry. So a service entry would be something like whether they did it on site or they outsourced it and took it to, say, Firestone or Jiffy Lube. They can put in the service entry here by selecting the vehicle and then the service that was performed. So maybe they had an oil change. And then you can also upload any sort of receipts or photos if there was some heavy duty maintenance. And you can kind of consider this as your maintenance e-file. The other thing that's kind of a bonus is we wouldn't be a Bridgestone company if we didn't allow you to schedule service at a Firestone location. So just a little plug for Firestone. You'd be able to come in and schedule an appointment. You'd select the vehicle, schedule the appointment right from the portal, choose what type of service you wanted. And then with the, and I probably picked the wrong vehicle. Oh no, this one has GPS in it. So it's going to know where you're at to be able to determine what Firestone locations are nearest you. So you can select a location and date and time, whether you're going to wait in store or drop off the vehicle. And now you've scheduled your maintenance appointment. So just an added benefit to the portal. If your customers are utilizing Class 8 vehicles and they have a need for ELD, which is your electronic logs, we do have that capability as well. And then lastly, there's a few dashboards that I like to show customers. They come in really handy. Of course, you've got all the reporting mechanisms. But the dashboard will give you a quick overview of, what's going on in my fleet today. Mine takes just a second because it's a demo, but you're able to see, how many speeding events did we have? Do we have hard braking? Is everybody using their seatbelt? And you can go right in here and see, either who is the culprit of speeding, and who you need to work with to improve their driving score. Same thing with, seatbelt. If you had a seatbelt rule, you can look at who's not wearing their seatbelt. And then with the technology through Bridgestone, we also have the ability to look at tire pressure monitoring. So looking at tire pressure amongst your fleet. Believe it or not, low tire pressure is obviously very dangerous. High tire pressure in an accident is just as dangerous. It can change the outcome completely if you have overinflated tires. So this is a really great tool to monitor, how many tire events did we have? How many vehicles were impacted? There is a third category here. It just doesn't look like we have it in our fleet, but if anybody had just low tire pressure, it would also have a third category. And then who's your repeat offenders? I would imagine that these folks are the ones that we see that are the speeding events, the hard braking, hard cornering. That's not to say that someone can't be on this list that is working near a construction site and keeps getting nails in their tires. But you'll be able to analyze that through the different reporting mechanisms. So that is our very quick high-level demo, but I'd love to answer any questions you guys might have about Azuga and our platform.
Okay, Tracy, I got first question for you is, is there a tool to calculate or to illustrate how this can be a cost-neutral engagement?
Yes. So meaning how it could save money for fleets? Is that to
Yes.
delve further into that question, absolutely. And actually on our website at azuga.com, we do have a calculator on there that can help you. There's also some really great statistics about insurance savings and different insurance companies that use us, and some really great scenarios of customer testimonials.
Okay, our next question is, does the system use 4G/5G or satellite?
So great question. So all of our devices ship hot with the Advantix Smart SIM. If you guys are from, I don't know if you're familiar with Advantix. We used to be an AT&T house, but now we've transferred into the Advantix Smart SIM, which really has opened up a lot of opportunities for us in areas that don't have the best coverage. That SIM is going to look for the carrier that has the best coverage in that particular area.
Okay, and how long is the data stored?
Good question. So we're going to keep it on the UI for a year, so for 12 months, and then we're going to house it in the cloud for 36 months. So up to 3 years, they'll be able to access the data.
And can recording start when a vehicle is broken into?
So we do have in our AI camera, it does pick up some vibration, but unless it's not going to know that someone's breaking in there, you have the ability to do the live stream if you're watching it happen, but it essentially doesn't know that it's being broken into. The camera can trigger if there's a lot of vibration, but it won't automatically turn on because someone is trying to get in the vehicle.
Okay. And the next question starts out, great job, unbelievable data. Is there a trial period of the software? And what is the standard pricing model, along with how does it compare to competitors?
Sure. So a couple different questions in that one. So thank you. But so as far as the pricing model, I can give you kind of an MSRP just to think about, and it does give you some wiggle room. But if you were looking at GPS only, it's about $25 a month MSRP. Very competitive. We actually find ourselves usually coming in a little bit lower than some of our competitors. So pricing is great, and always remember you have the Bridgestone National Account Program to promote as well. And then tell me again the other question. Sorry.
Hold on.
There was
Okay.
a couple of good ones in there.
It was, yeah. Is there a trial period? What is the standard pricing model and how it compares to competitors?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, we ranked one of the top 4 as far as competition. And back to pricing, I should also mention probably 95% of our customers do the camera and the GPS. So we've got a 2-to-1 attach rate, where probably 3 years ago we were at a 4-to-1 attach rate. So cameras are very, very hot. We don't sell camera only, but that bundle together is about $65 a month. Now they're not paying for any hardware in both of those pricings that I gave you. It's just bundled into the monthly.
Okay. Does the service work from Firestone go directly into the service history for a vehicle?
So that's in the works. To answer your question, yes, it's on the roadmap to be able to, when you're in there, they're going to be able to see everything that's transpired and be able to, if you get service at their location, it's going to upload into the UI.
And we have a couple more questions. First
Sure.
one is, what are some of your channel success stories?
So from a channel perspective, just to elaborate, meaning working with partners or?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we are our channel actually is, we are one of 3 channels at Azuga from a partner perspective, and we have been leading for the last 2.5 years and growing, which is exciting. I think from a channel perspective, what sets us apart is we'll help onboard customers. We'll help, support the customers, help do the demo. We want you to know enough to be dangerous, but then we're going to take it from there and help you. We'll be as involved as you'd like or as little as you'd like. So we're hoping to partner with everyone and at the end of the day, it's success for all of us.
Okay, and the last question is a two-parter again. It's what are questions we should use to uncover opportunities? And what is the typical size of customer, as in number of vehicles, etc.?
Okay, I can certainly share a document that has some really great kind of identifiers of keywords that customers will say. I think it's important to know that fleet doesn't mean a parking lot full of hundreds of vehicles. It could be one vehicle, it could be thousands of vehicles. So if you imagine yourself at a stoplight and you see vehicles show up with logos on the side of their vehicles, that's your prospect. It could range from home health to, big enterprise customers. We are very big in the service industry. We have a lot of integrations. We also have open APIs if that's important to anyone. We're happy to work with companies that would like to do an integration. So very flexible and easy to work with when it comes to that. But I can certainly share some key questions with the Claris team, and they can send that out.